The story was left off on a cliffhanger from the previous chapter where the protagonist is betrayed by the Doctor, or otherwise known as the Syringeon. The protagonist, with the help of the Syringeon, manages to defeat Sir Dadadoo and destroy the scepter, making all the mind-controlled mascots return to normal. But just then, Syringeon knocks out the protagonist and takes her to a large prison complex where the Givanium creatures who happen to serve the Syringeon are acting as guards. It's a little bizarre how there is a gigantic prison under the kindergarten, but at this point, we have way past any logic in the story. As established from before, many of the test subjects claim their own territories and kingdoms below the kindergarten, and Syringeon is one of them, who happens to be a cruel leader, acting as a dictator and having an intense hatred for humans. The hate seems to stem from the resentment that he has harbored due to being experimented on. The jail cells within the prison seem to be mainly empty, but we also find other Givanium creatures who are being assaulted within the prison. These Givanium creatures seem to have disobeyed the Syringeon, hence why they are being treated so badly. The protagonist is sent to do some hard, forced labor when we learn about the other mascots who have also been put into this prison. They plan on escape, with Sir Dadadoo putting his differences aside and asking the protagonist to help them escape, as he is in the prison as well. Unfortunately, their plan fails, with Sheriff Toadster revealing to be working for Syringeon and managing the prison.
Half of my bodies is still in number because of you and your doing. I should have ended you when I had my chance, but we are in the present now. You know, you remind me of myself. We have both done all the dirty work for Syringeon, but this changes tonight. You, myself, and my friend keeping watch. You are getting out of here tonight. Luck is clearly on your side, and we definitely need that. Grab anything you need and meet me here in a few hours.
Well, well, well. Meet your new warden, you cockroaches. You thought you could just simply escape my prison, didn't you? I've been enforcing the law for all my life, you fools. And as such, I know my way around criminals a little too well. They say everyone has a price. The price of your friend here just happens to be a strawberry lollipop.
Lo siento, chicos. Fue una oferta que no pude rechazar.
Everything started to fall apart the moment you showed up, ex-partner. Bitter Giggle, the Queen, the invasion of the Naughty Ones. The singular common factor has never been so clear. For once, I'm on the right side of history. Now justice will be served.
Just as he kills one of the Givanium guards, helping the prisoners, a car drives into the prison yard after an explosion, helping the protagonist to escape. So this shows Givanium subjects, despite having a good reason to hate humans, some of them still choose to help humans, especially someone like the protagonist who didn't have anything to do with the cruel experiments happening. Escaping the prison, the car falls over a bridge and lands in a strange place lined with metal sheets. The protagonist finds a wardrobe shut closed with ropes, which she cuts open to find the anti-devil inside, or otherwise known as Flumbbo. Flumbbo simply says that he is playing hide and seek, even though he has clearly been trapped here with the rope binding the doors shut. Hearing the footsteps of someone approaching, the protagonist hides under a desk just to see a badly experimented on Banban entering, who has been subjected to the cruel tests of the Syringeon. He is now half red and half green, portraying the Givanium used on him. He is also missing an eye right now, which might mean that he is partially blind. Finding Flumbbo in the closet, it's revealed that he has lost his mind being trapped here for such a long time, still thinking he is playing hide and seek, even though everyone else believed he had gone missing. It's possible someone trapped him in the closet when he was playing a game, and that led to him being all alone in the closet for all that time. A truly horrifying fate that no one can even imagine the brutality of. Banban takes the protagonist on the train and drops her off at the clinic. while he carries on going with Flumbbo to the Syringeon. The Syringeon in the meantime has put a bounty on the protagonist's head, even instructing some of the mascots to go after her. But for some weird reason, Banban doesn't actually take her to the Syringeon. Finding a case report about Flumbbo, it turns out that the organization actually funded for a search and rescue team to find him. But after a period of failures, they gave up on the search and assumed Flumbbo to be dead. Moving on, all in order to find her missing children, the protagonist meets a deranged Givanium scientist who has been performing experiments of his own to recreate the female version of Nap Nap, which is Napnalina, being an over-obsessed stalker for her. Managing to bring a subject to life with the experiment addressing the scientist as Papa, the scientist brutally stabs the creature, killing it.
It had to be done.
He shows no mercy or compassion, even though the child Givanium is essentially like himself. Moving on, we read multiple case update report sheets about an experiment known as Case 43, which was a mixture of a mushroom, a human, and Givanium. This creature was reported to emit a strong glow, causing blindness, and because of that, it was known to be unsuitable for presentation. And if you remember from previous videos, the organization wanted to use these test subjects as mascots for the kindergarten and place them behind the glass for parents and other visitors' enjoyment. Eventually we come across Flumbbo, who has been lied to by Banban, being trapped on a bed for the Syringeon to perform experiments on. That's when we free him, and when confronted by the Syringeon and Banban, who soon come, Flumbbo throws himself and the protagonist into the mouth of Zolphius, the gigantic entity present almost everywhere in the underground, waking up what seems to be inside of his body. It happens to be a meticulous ecosystem of its own, with a group of Givanium creatures living in tribes, who even have a tribe leader. At this point, nothing makes sense anymore, and all I want to figure out is if the children will ever get found even. Within the depths of Zolphius, the tribe leader explains to Flumbbo who he really is and what he was meant to be. He is more than just 6C, his experiment number, and that he was meant to be the center of the group. This comes as a shock to Flumbbo, who has been stuck in a closet for years, who takes some time alone to think about his own identity.
As it is.
This is the truth. I'm not sure if you've ever seen your body fully, but this person that's in the center of the drawing on the wall, that's you. Gone missing. You're gonna claim what's yours. I knew the truth, so I was thrown down here.
I need some time to think.
Eventually, Givanium creatures form a long bridge by holding each other, helping the protagonist and Flumbbo get up and out of Zolphius' mouth. As the protagonist proves to be very good at not getting caught, we hear the Syringeon increase the reward for catching her from 10 lollipops to 12. Yep, the irresistible reward for catching her is lollipops. Something the Givanium creatures cannot help themselves against. This is as serious as we can get in this plot. As the protagonist, the anxious mother, carries on to find her children, she enters a storage facility where she starts hearing the voices of her children calling to her. This seems to be it. After all this time looking for her kids, they must be here. But as she goes closer to the voice, different voices can be heard, even from the mascots calling out to parents. It seems as if these voices belong to a monster who's trying to lure their victims closer. And as it happens, this turns out to be the case, as a monster appears, known as Miss Mimicker, who mimics voices of people someone might be looking for so that they are lured to be killed. This monster seems to be able to mimic the voices of anyone it has encountered. After an intense chase, the protagonist manages to close a metallic gate door on this monster, causing it to die. Rejoining with Flumbbo, they carry on, with Flumbbo slowly realizing that he was replaced by Banban, someone he considered a dear friend. friend. Flumbbo, who had been trapped in a closet since he was a child, starts questioning why the Syringeon, who has given himself the label of father, cares so much about Banban but not Flumbbo, especially as they seem to be very similar. Poor Flumbbo was only released to have his organs harvested and experimented on. They eventually get to a higher level where they confront the Syringeon. He has trapped Banbalina, someone Flumbbo seems to have affections for.
With the press of a button, I'll make you never see 7 again. Just give yourself up, Flumbbo. To be blunt, we need parts of you.
He tries to get Flumbbo to give himself up for his parts, as otherwise he would kill Banbalina. Flumbbo refuses to do so, which in turn, Syringeon drops Banbalina into a Givanium vat. He then orders Banban to attack, but as the protagonist obtained the tape from before, showing the cruel experiments of the Syringeon on Banban, they play it, which makes Banban get angry and turn against Syringeon and kill him.
I knew this would happen one day. Of all my creations, you were the most fascinating. It's a shame I won't see the final stage.
Flumbbo then tries to comfort and calm a transformed devil version of Banban, but regardless he attacks, which forces Flumbbo to transform as well. They get into a fight and both end up in the same vat of Givanium that Banbalina fell into. As the protagonist leaves the place, with all these mascots seemingly having died, he follows a path where he hears the sound of her child. As she enters a room, she comes across another entity known as Bunchista, being an anteater, which we will face in the next chapter, Chapter 9, which is called Last Ticket to the Abyss. And to be honest, I don't know at this point if it's gonna be the last chapter or not. By now, I can't tell when we will get to the end of the story and when the protagonist will finally meet her children. The story gets more and more bizarre, with entities and characters that shouldn't really be there. But hey, we're all in this together. We have gone through many chapters to give up now, so let's see what the next chapter holds for us. And that's it for this video, folks. If you enjoyed it, make sure to stay tuned for more by hitting on the subscribe button and the notification bell. As always, it's been your host Star. Thanks for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.